Picking a mobile Bitcoin wallet can seem really daunting. There are so many options out there, so which one do you choose? Well, today I'm going to break down some of my favorite mobile Bitcoin wallets for a variety of different use cases. And make sure you stick around to the very end because the last one is jam-packed with features. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session. Today, we're going to be covering a variety of mobile Bitcoin wallets for a number of different use cases. Some will be best suited for small payments and tiny amounts held in the wallet, others for medium and large amounts. Now, before we dive into the wallets that I want to go through today, I did want to cover some terminology for anybody that is unfamiliar. First, I would like to cover on-chain wallets versus layer 2 wallets. When I'm referring to on-chain wallets, these are regular Bitcoin transactions, which means that they can take on average 10 minutes for a transaction to fully settle, and the fees can fluctuate depending on a number of factors, which include how busy is the network, how much data does your transaction take up, and what do you personally set your fee at based on how urgent is your transaction. When I'm referring to layer 2 wallets and layer 2 payments, these are layers atop Bitcoin's on-chain or base layer, and they're designed for faster and cheaper payments. There's a lot of different layer 2 options out there, Lightning being the most prominent, but you may also see things like Liquid and Ecash, and some of these wallets will support various options in that realm, and we'll discuss them when they come up. Now, I'd also like to cover hot wallets versus cold wallets. A hot wallet means that the keys to your money, the credentials to be able to spend, are on your device, are on the phone itself, meaning that if somebody gets a hold of your phone or if you get malware, the person would be able to access your funds. When I'm referring to a cold wallet, this allows you to, on your mobile phone, be able to look at your balance and even add to it. But in order to spend, you're going to need a secondary device, a hardware wallet, to be able to approve a transaction, thus giving you more security. Now, we're going to be going through these wallets in order of least self-sovereign all the way up to most self-sovereign, meaning how much control do you have over your money? Are you making some trade-offs in order to afford yourself some convenience? Or are you taking full control so that nobody can censor transactions or abscond with your funds? So with that, we're going to dive in to our first wallet of the day right now. So I'm going to start off with the Bitcoin wallet known as CoinOS. This can be found at CoinOS, CoinOS.io. And this is actually a web wallet, meaning that you can use it both on your browser and on your phone, and you use it with an actual web browser. Now, there's some nuance to that because you can install it as what's known as a progressive web app. So it does look like a regular application on your phone. But just a few things before we take a look at the app itself. CoinOS, the sign up, very simple, email address and password, and you have the option to have two-factor authentication for additional security. It is on-chain and layer 2, so you have both options, and it's also great for merchants, and we'll take a look at why in a moment. Let's take a look at the actual app itself. So here I am. I'm logged in on my account here. And there's a variety of things. Again, you can see receive and send, pretty basic. You've got a balance. It can be denominated in your local currency, which you can change as you wish. And it shows me my amount of Bitcoin that I have that is denominated in sats. You can change that if you like. And if you're new to Bitcoin, you're unfamiliar, sats is a fraction of a Bitcoin. There are 100 million sats in a Bitcoin. Now, up top, you've got your navigation, you've got your home, you also have your point of sale. So you have this little screen so you can charge and ask for specific amounts. I can turn that off if I don't want it to be automatic. You have the ability to receive a variety of different ways. So let's take a look at the receive screen that we were just on there. So first off, you have your own Lightning address, meaning that you can, it looks like an email address and it's reusable. Anybody can send Bitcoin via the Lightning Network to you at CoinOS at any point. You don't have to create an invoice or create a new address or anything like that. So nice and convenient there. You can obviously also set amounts, specific amounts and invoices that you want, add notes, and some copy and pasting, scan, all the regular buttons you would expect to see. But down on the bottom, I just want to show you all of the different ways that you have to both receive and send. Right now we're on Lightning, but if you click, you can also do regular on-chain Bitcoin payments. And then it has even more options down below. So let's take a look at what they have. A variety of different Bitcoin address types. You know, for me, it doesn't really matter about that, but I just use the default. But for Lightning, you have not only LN URL, you have Bolt 12 and Bolt 11, which are just different standards that allow you to accept different types of payments, different privacy profiles. So they've added quite a bit there. You can also accept Liquid Network, which I do use fairly often, and Ecash even. So this is super private. Ecash, it basically everything is encrypted and blinded. Even in this instance, CoinOS wouldn't know exactly the transactions that are happening when it comes to Ecash. Either way, lots of different ways to both receive and send here within CoinOS. Now, going back to the main screen, again, you have a history of transactions that you can go, and if they're on CoinOS, it will show their usernames and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. And you can look at the past day, week, month, or all. When you go to send, again, very simple. You can just scan any type of QR code. It will understand what you're trying to do. You can paste in invoices or usernames or Lightning addresses, whatever you want. And then furthermore, as I said, this is technically the least self-sovereign option that is on this list because it is fully custodial. However, they have baked in something that I think is quite useful. And so if you go into the settings here, you can actually set a threshold that will allow you to withdraw to a specific address or Lightning address that you control yourself. So down at the bottom here, you can see auto withdrawal. And when you click that, you can have it go anywhere that you like, a Bitcoin, Liquid, or Lightning address. And you set a threshold of how many sats you want it to withdraw, and if you want a float to remain in the wallet as well. So you can set those to whatever you want. So maybe it gets to 1 million sats. You're uncomfortable with that much sitting in a custodial wallet. It will auto send out to the wallet of your choice. So I think it's a nice feature for those that maybe are worried about a balance stacking up and it's sitting in a custodial option here, which is great. I also wanted to let you guys know that they do have some Nostr integration, which is a censorship resistant form of social media and much more than that. And then, as I said, there's security options for two-factor authentication. So all in all, I think this is a great basic solution for somebody that just wants to do some small payments and maybe wants to set a threshold in case they accidentally receive more than they're expecting to go into a custodial wallet. And then again, for merchants, it's great to be able to do your point of sale terminal and be able to accept payments that way, which looks like this. You can just set it up normally. You can even have a dedicated page, like you have like coinos.io/BTC sessions, for instance, and that can just be like a payment page that you can set up, and anybody can pull that up on like an iPad and use it as a point of sale terminal, and it goes to your control, at least your login control with the account. So anyways, I think all in all, pretty cool. They also have this handy map and it shows any Bitcoin merchants that happen to be in your area. When I click on it, it shows it defaults to Vancouver because that's where they're based, and they've got a ton of different merchants there. But really cool feature baked into the wallet. Either way, CoinOS.io, I have a full tutorial on it, and I'll link it down below if this one seems like a good option for you. Now, there's one thing I forgot to note here, and that is I said that CoinOS is available on the web browser, right? And so, yes, you can access this on CoinOS.io and do your login and do that on desktop or on your phone. But I was just showing you something that looked like an app. There was no browser bar up top. So how do you do that? Well, you go up to the three little dots and you have the option to add to home screen. And when you do that, what ends up happening is you get what looks like an app here that shows up, and then you can click it and there's no more browser bar, and it just goes directly to your logged in account. So nice and convenient. You don't get it from the App Store. You just go straight to the website on whatever device you're using, and makes it nice and simple to do. Up next, I want to cover Aqua Wallet, and there's a lot baked in here, and we're now getting into the realm of holding your own keys, meaning that you have the keys to your money, you and you alone, and all of the assets, whether it be on-chain Bitcoin or liquid Bitcoin or whatever you're dealing with, sit in a wallet controlled by you, and you have the keys. So the setup for this one is you basically download the app and you're off to the races. It will tell you to back it up, which is a 12-word seed phrase that you write down and keep safe. Now, with Aqua Wallet, there's a lot that you can do with it. So let's just take a look at the app itself. If you want to check out the website, it is aquawallet.io. So here it is on my phone, and this is a relatively fresh install, a test wallet, not my actual one that I use on my other phone. But what do we got in front of us? You've got the Bitcoin price sitting up top. You've got receive and send buttons and the ability to scan QR codes. Pretty standard stuff that you would see and expect to see out of a Bitcoin wallet. But down below, we have something a little bit different. We have a separation of accounts. So you have what's shown as a savings account and a spending account. And what these are what I was referring to earlier in the video as on-chain versus layer 2. And so your savings would be on-chain, and as you would assume, it's meant for larger amounts. Now, this is still a hot wallet. So when I say larger amounts, I don't mean like your life savings, but on-chain is a little bit more secure than layer 2. So you have the option to do on-chain payments. With layer 2, it's actually kind of interesting because when I hit layer 2 and then I choose receive, I actually have two options. I can receive via the Lightning Network, but I can also receive via Liquid. And the way that these two layers atop Bitcoin work vary. Lightning, you're going to have an invoice that you set. You're going to type in an amount that you want to receive, and then somebody will be able to send you that specific amount. If you're dealing with Liquid, much like on-chain Bitcoin, it is just a regular Bitcoin address or a liquid Bitcoin address that anybody can send to, and as soon as it receives some money, it will cycle in a brand new one for you. Again, just like when you're receiving regular Bitcoin. Now, I do want to go and show that when you are sitting in on-chain or layer 2 Bitcoin, you can actually swap back and forth. There's a swap button in the wallet itself, and you just designate, okay, well, I have Bitcoin and I want to get liquid Bitcoin, or vice versa. You can swap back and forth however you want. And there's a small fee associated with it. It's, it's just basically 0.1% conversion rate. Depending on which way you're going and what asset you're going to and from. But yeah, it looks to be about 0.1%, so really not bad at all. I will also mention that they do have stable coins available here because it is using the Liquid network, and Liquid allows you to deal with other assets as well. So if you have a use case for having a stable US dollar value sitting in your wallet, you can easily do that here and swap seamlessly between Liquid Bitcoin and Tether. Now, I do want to say that the biggest draw when it comes to Aqua is that you can send and receive Lightning payments without ever having to mess with or understand Lightning channels. And the reason for this is it automatically swaps any Lightning payment into Liquid Bitcoin in the wallet. And so Liquid, again, functions much the same as Bitcoin. It has addresses, and your keys control all of the Bitcoin sitting in those addresses. There's no lines of liquidity between nodes and stuff like that. It's an asset on a blockchain. Okay. And so again, for those that are trying to just be able to use a Lightning wallet on your mobile device, and you don't want to mess with Lightning channels, but you do want control over your funds, aka holding your own keys, this is likely the option for you. It's going to be the simplest option to get set up because it will be familiar if you've used regular on-chain Bitcoin. You write down your 12 words and you're off to the races and you can start transacting. So that, again, is the biggest draw. And I'm really digging kind of these hybrid wallets where you can do on-chain, Lightning, and Liquid, and for some other options as well, all in one place. And I particularly like it that I can have my own keys and do it here. I also do want to mention that in the marketplace, there's a few different things in here. You've got the ability to buy and sell Bitcoin and USDT and all these different things. That's baked in. They have side swap to be able to swap, which is already we saw on the main page. They also have BTC map to find Bitcoin merchants. And then this is really cool. It is gradually rolling out depending on your jurisdiction, but the Dolphin card. And so this allows you to pull from your Bitcoin balance and pull it onto this reloadable Visa card that can be used for online purchases, things like Amazon or Uber or anywhere that you would put a credit card number into an account and it would pull from there. Well, now you can do it from within Aqua Wallet. So that's really, really cool. Outside of that, again, you have just setting your region, setting just a few different things, biometric authentication or passcodes, whatever you want. And if you, for some reason, you don't want Tether or anything, you can, remove it from the assets here, or you can add others, other stable coins and such there. So all in all, I quite like this. Now, in terms of Liquid Bitcoin, the reason that this is kind of where it is in the list in terms of sovereignty, there's a trade-off with the Liquid network in that it is a federated model. There are multiple key holders around the globe that are part of a giant multisig. A number of these are visible, reputable, businesses and large entities in the Bitcoin space. And a vast majority of them would have to collude in order to rug pull. So the likelihood of that happening is very, very slim, but you should be cognizant and understand that it is a federated model and it is pegged to the value of Bitcoin. If for some godforsaken reason, a bunch of those entities did collude, then the peg would be broken. Liquid has been running for years and years, and that has not happened. So I figured I'd at least inform you as to that. But I mean, I use Aqua all the time. I would just treat this as a day-to-day spending wallet, and it works fantastic if that is your use case. So again, full tutorial in the show notes down below if you want to learn more about it. Bitcoin Well is the best place to be buying and selling Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And now with Bitcoin Well Infinite, it's also the best place to be making large buys at their OTC desk of over $50,000. Their white glove service gives you fast transactions, no slippage, and the lowest fees. You can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to bitcoinwell.com/BTC sessions to sign up today. And you can share your own personalized referral link to earn commissions. Debify is the best and easiest way to borrow against your Bitcoin in a non-custodial way. Funds are held in a multisig escrow where you hold a key, and the platform allows for excellent hardware like the Cold Card Mark IV and the Q. You have access to flexible conditions, the best rates, and institutional-grade liquidity. If you're looking to make use of your capital, don't sell your Bitcoin, borrow against it. You can head over to debify.com to check them out, or simply scan the QR code on the screen. All right, up next, I want to talk about Phoenix Wallet from Async. You can find it at phoenix.async, which is ACINQ.co or .co. And this wallet is a mobile wallet. Once again, you're going to have your own keys. So you're going to write down a 12-word seed phrase and keep it safe somewhere as your backup. And it is a Lightning native wallet. So everything that you hold in the wallet itself is in a Lightning channel, so it's Lightning native, but you can also make regular on-chain payments as well. And so we're going to take a look at a Phoenix wallet that I have open, and it's, had transactions coming in and out, and, decent sized transactions as well. And so let's just take a look at what we have. We have a balance up top. If you tap it, you can see it in sats or in USD or whatever your local currency is. You can also see previous transactions down below. At the very bottom, some familiar stuff, receive and send buttons. And then there's some more nuance, some stuff that you may not be familiar with, something called a request liquidity button, and there's some settings down below. So how does this wallet itself work? We can explain it a little bit more if we hit the receive button. It gives you options. And so you have options of not only receiving Lightning, but also receiving on-chain Bitcoin. And the way it works is anytime you receive a transaction, even the very first time, it will automatically convert that money into being spendable and usable on the Lightning network, regardless of how it came in. If it came in through a regular Bitcoin address, doesn't matter. It's going into a Lightning channel. Now, because of this, because it's all going into a Lightning channel, you will have to learn some of the nuance in and around how Lightning channels work, especially when you first load the wallet for the very first time. There's some nuance around that. You may want to load it with a slightly larger amount, like not $10 or $20. You're probably going to want to load it with a couple $100 so that you have a decent size Lightning channel at least. And then if you're going to be constantly receiving transactions, more than you're going to be sending. So if this is not so much a spending wallet, but more of a merchant type receiving wallet, then you're going to likely want to hit the request liquidity button and buy a large Lightning channel so that you're not constantly getting hit with fees to grow the size of your Lightning channel. Again, if a lot of this sounds like Greek to you, check out my full Phoenix tutorial because I've got the different use cases and you can take a look at how to set it up differently depending on what you're doing. Now, a couple other things here. When you do hit receive, it has options for how to receive your Lightning transaction. There's a single use Bolt 11. So this is just an empty payment, no specific amount set to it, but somebody can pay that and then it'll create a brand new one after it's been used. You can add an amount, so you can have a specified amount for this invoice, or you can go to Bolt 12, which is reusable. You can add amounts to these, but the general code is a reusable code. Anybody can send this multiple times. It doesn't expire. You also get a Bolt 12 address here, which looks like an email address. And anybody on a Bolt 12 enabled wallet will be able to reuse this code at any time to send you funds. Outside of that, I think that's pretty much it. There's some additional settings here. You can play with the display and your local currency and all of that. You can also take a look at your channel management if you're curious about your Lightning channels. But as you can see, there is some additional learning to do when using this, but you are also in more direct control of your funds. And what I mean is, when you're using Aqua Wallet, you are using Liquid, and that is a federated model, meaning it's a giant multisig across many, many entities around the globe, and it is pegged to Bitcoin. And so there's a slight trade-off there. Unlikely that there's going to be a rug pull. I'd say very, very unlikely. And I use Aqua all the time. But for the purists out there that want to have a direct Lightning channel and have complete control over the entire setup, even though it gives you a little bit of additional learning and legwork, then Phoenix may be the option for you. So check out the tutorial down below. All right, moving on with our list, we're going to talk about Alby Go. And I would say out of the layer 2 enabled wallets, this is going to be your most self-sovereign option. And the reason for that is, in order to use it, you're going to have your own Lightning node. And you can do this a variety of different ways. Maybe you have your own Bitcoin node at home, something like a Start9, which is what I'm running, maybe an Umbrel, or maybe you're using their cloud hosting service where you actually host your own Bitcoin node, but it's on their server. They just don't have full access to anything that you do. It's encrypted with your passwords. Nonetheless, what that would look like and how that works is, here is my Start9 node. And again, I've done a video on how to use Start9. You can check that out down below. I'll include it. But there is something called Alby Hub. It's an app that you can download and use. And I also am running something called LND, which is on here as well. And LND allows you to basically have a functioning Lightning node and set up your Lightning channels. It is a more manual process, but I will say that Alby Hub makes it easier because it walks you through step by step and tells you the best next thing to do. The actual Alby Hub app itself, when you're at the home, it will look something like this, and it'll give you options of things to do. I've obviously already been using this one, so it looks a little bit different. But the wallet here in the browser will look something like this. You have transactions going in and out, a balance, send and receive. This is specifically on my node. This is not yet the mobile app that I'm talking about. But once you've done the legwork to set up Alby Hub on your node, and again, I will have a video for that in the show notes as well. I've got Start9, and then I've got Alby Hub, specifically taking a look at the Alby Hub app on your Start9. But then you have something that says connections. And this is where you can connect a variety of different apps to your own Lightning node. One of them being Alby Go. And so this is really, really easy to do. All you do is you click on Alby Go, you hit reveal QR code that will pop up, which I can't do for you right now because then you would connect to my node. And then with the app itself, you simply add and scan the QR code and it will link directly to your Alby Hub. So let's just take a quick look here. There's my balance in sats. Well, let's look over at Alby Go. There's my balance in sats. It is directly connected to my own Lightning node that I'm running on my own hardware. So again, probably the most self-sovereign option. Now, what are the trade-offs here? Number one, obviously more legwork. You're going to need to know how to run a node. You're going to need to learn Alby Hub, and then you're going to download this app and connect it to your own infrastructure. The other trade-off that I would say is that this is Lightning specific. Only Lightning. So send and receive Lightning payments. They're part of your node on Lightning channels that you've set up. On-chain, no dice. Liquid, no dice. Ecash, no dice. So it's just Lightning payments, just Lightning native. Now, luckily, most of the other wallets that we referred to will be able to send and receive to another Lightning wallet. And Lightning is kind of this glue that holds a lot of these options together. It's interoperable with a lot of different things. But if you're looking to receive Liquid or on-chain or something like that, that will not be your go-to with Alby Go. That may change in the future. They may add automations that will add to your Lightning channel if you receive on-chain, but that is not the case right now. It is a layer 2 Lightning-only wallet that is connected to your own infrastructure like your Start9 node. So either way, super self-sovereign, extra work, limited in scope, but works like a charm if you want to do it. So you can check that out. Videos for everything I referenced will be down below. CoinKite has been in the game for years, creating hands down the best and most secure hardware when it comes to securing your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and my daily driver, and it's ideal for newcomers and advanced users alike. The Tap Signer gives you a low-cost, user-friendly option for those just getting started or for convenience when traveling. You can head to coinkite.com and use code BTC Sessions for discounts, or simply scan the QR code on the screen to get started right away.
If you've been around Bitcoin for more than a minute, you've definitely seen something made by Crypto Cloaks. Since 2017, they've been the go-to for badass 3D printed Bitcoin gear, from custom home mining rigs to sleek hardware wallet mounts that make your setup look pro. I've been stacking Cloaks gear for years, and most recently I grabbed their Gamma case for my miner. Let me tell you, it turns some heads. You can customize everything, and of course, the legendary Bitcoin grenade, yeah, that's them. Hit the link in the show notes or scan the QR code to visit CryptoCloaks.com and stack your own custom Cloaks gear today.
I want to now talk about Nunchuk Wallet. And whereas the options that came before all had layer 2 options and sometimes on-chain as well, depending on what you were using, this is not meant to be a layer 2 wallet. This is specifically on-chain. Also, all of the wallets I mentioned before were hot wallets. The keys to your money are on the device itself. With Nunchuk, there's some nuance there and you have optionality, but it is on-chain only. So, what is Nunchuk Wallet capable of, and why might you want to use it? Well, let's take a look. So this is a basic setup Nunchuk Wallet, and you have some options when you set up a new wallet here. You can see I have a single account up here, but you got many different accounts all in this single place. And some of them will have different uses than others. So just really quick, let's hit this plus sign in the top right and take a look at what we have. So you have options of custom group wallets, hot wallets, decoy wallets, all kinds of different stuff. So a hot wallet, of course, would be the keys are on the device. You write down your 12 words, you keep them safe, and you can do on-chain payments back and forth very simply. But there are other options here. So let's take a look at them. A custom wallet. So if I just go ahead and I just say test, it gives you options of what type of addresses do you want to use, Bitcoin addresses. I usually just go with the default. But then it asks you to configure a wallet and asks, what keys do you want to use? And this is where it starts to get interesting. Let's go back to the main screen here. You can have, of course, as I alluded to, hot wallets, but also cold wallets, meaning that you can use your favorite Bitcoin hardware, like perhaps the Cold Card Q that I use all the time, or in the instance on the screen here, the Tap Signer, which just looks like a little NFC tap card. But something where the keys do not reside on the phone. And this gives you additional security. If somebody gets a hold of your phone, they cannot spend your funds. They require your device and the PIN to your device as well in order to spend, which is great. But not only that, you can go beyond that. You can create what are known as multisig wallets. And a multisig wallet is a wallet that requires multiple keys to unlock, aka multiple devices to unlock. So you might have 3 devices and you may have them in different places. And when you want to spend from your long-term savings, you have to go to each device and give an approval. Oftentimes it's a threshold, like you have 3 keys and it requires at least 2 of them. So you would go to one key, give a little signature and unlock, go to another key, give a little signature, unlock, and now you can spend the designated amount that you had set up. And so again, it gives even greater security over a regular cold wallet, and you can manage it all from Nunchuk. Now, not only that, let's keep going here. They have more options. Let's hit the plus sign. Take a look at this group wallet. What is a group wallet? This is a group of people on different phones with their own copy of this app linking together with their keys to create a multisig wallet, meaning that you have a key, somebody else has a key, somebody else has a key, and 2 of you have to approve a transaction in order to send it. So this could be useful perhaps in corporate situations or inheritance situations or whatever you like, but all of it can be coordinated from within the wallet itself. And the best part about it is there's an encrypted chat between you guys. So you can say, hey, I need to spend this money to do this. And then, relay the transaction and somebody else can say, okay, cool, and approve it so that both of you don't have to be calling each other or anything like that. It can just be done within the app. Now, they also have decoy wallets here. And this would be if you put in a specific PIN when you open up Nunchuk app, it goes to a decoy wallet with a small amount so that if you're under duress, you could just say, well, this is all I have here, which is awesome. And beyond that, all of this functionality is so many different options. And those are just the fully kind of self-sovereign, self-rolled options. But they have more. They also have inheritance. So you have options to be able to set up inheritance planning, and you can go to their website and learn more about this, but you would manage it from the app. You would have the majority of the keys so that you can always unilaterally move funds without anybody's permission. But Nunchuk would have a key. So if you lose some keys, they can assist you in being one of the keys to help unlock your money without them ever being able to spend without you. And furthermore, they also have baked in inheritance planning where if something happens to you, your next of kin gets notified. They're able to get key material to them without Nunchuk ever having access to it. And then Nunchuk and your family member together are able to move funds into your family member's possession. It's all really cool. I've done videos on it. I will link to it all down below, but I will say, yes, this is not a layer 2 wallet, but it is the most fully featured on-chain wallet for mobile that I have ever seen. There is so much to do here. Beyond that, you've got all these different kind of privacy things in and around UTXO management, which again, if you're new to Bitcoin, will sound a little complex. It's an advanced feature that you can use if you like, but lots and lots of great stuff coming out of Nunchuk, and I encourage you to dive in. It's also great for watch-only wallets. If you want to be able to watch a balance but not have access to spend from it, well, you can have it here in Nunchuk as well. So all around, amazing wallet, not for day-to-day spending for, small amounts and lightning and stuff like that, but if you're dealing with on-chain in any capacity, honestly, this is the way to go. So let's do a quick little recap of the wallets that we went over and why they might apply to your personal situation. So first up, we had CoinOS, the least self-sovereign, but very, very convenient email sign up with a password and 2FA if you want to use it. Accepts basically any type of Bitcoin payment, layer 2 or on-chain. And you do have the option for auto withdrawals to your own self-custody so that if the balance does grow too much, you can make sure that you don't keep it in a custodial solution. Again, best suited for small amounts, I would say, because you're giving up custody for this. And it may be well suited for merchants that want a simple onboarding and just to be able to have something at the till to accept easy payments. Moving on, Aqua Wallet. For those that want control over their keys in the simplest possible fashion to be able to use both on-chain and layer 2 Bitcoin, Aqua is the way to go. Anything that you receive on-chain, you've got it there. If you receive Lightning, you got it there. If you receive Liquid, you have it there. And you don't have to worry about Lightning channels. You also have the option for stablecoins, and you can swap between on-chain, layer 2, and stablecoins all natively within the app. They also have the Dolphin card to be able to convert into a reloadable Visa and spend online wherever you please. So again, super fully featured. I use this thing all the time. Really cool. And more features coming out down the road. Highly recommend Aqua. I think these guys are awesome. Moving on. Phoenix Wallet. For the purists that want full control, including their own Lightning channel, this would be your option. You've got on-chain and Lightning. You do not have Liquid capabilities, so there's a trade-off there. And you do need to know a little bit about liquidity in general, especially if you're going to be receiving a lot of payments. Then you might get headaches if you're not familiar with how a Lightning channel works. But nonetheless, easy backup. You've got your 12 words. You have control over your funds. And most of the Lightning Network stuff in the background is automated other than just being aware of, in general, how it works. So you don't get dinged with fees along the way. Also, Bolt 12 can be useful. It's not implemented everywhere yet, but for those that you transact with that do have it, it will make things easier with reusable payment codes. Moving on to Alby Go. This requires you to be hosting your own infrastructure, which is why it's near the top of the list for self-sovereignty. You'd be running something like a Start9 or an Umbral node or a cloud-hosted node through their Alby service. And you would connect the mobile wallet to your self-hosted infrastructure. Now, this is Lightning only. No on-chain, no Liquid. It is all connected to Lightning channels that you yourself have established. The Alby Hub plugin for your node makes it easier so that you can set it up and connect in a self-sovereign way, but it does take a little bit of know-how, it does take a little bit of elbow grease, and it does require your own hardware. So if you're looking for maximum sovereignty when it comes to Lightning payments, this may be your simplest option. And finally, Nunchuk, specifically on-chain, no layer 2, but crazy features in this one. Hot wallets, cold wallets, multisig wallets, group wallets, inheritance, decoy wallets, you name it. If it's on chain, you could probably do it. And they keep on shipping features. This thing is jam-packed. And if you're going to be using on chain on your phone and you want as many features as possible, I mean, I struggle to think of a better option than this. So Nunchuk team killing it. And again, the baked in inheritance stuff, if you want to use their services for that, I do. So you can feel free to check them out. Again, nunchuk.io. All the links for all of the wallets will be in the show notes, as well as tutorials on each one, and sometimes multiple videos if I mentioned multiple different things as I described the wallets. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, share. All those things, they help a ton. And let me know what you thought about all of these wallet options here. Which one did you like best? And did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments down below what wallets you love for mobile. Beyond that, if you need some help in your learning journey, please do check out my Learn page, btcsessions.ca/learn. There you will find a variety of tutorials for your learning journey from beginner to intermediate to master, and deep dives, longer playlists on all of the topics that are covered above. And if you need some one-on-one help, please do reach out to my team at bitcoinmentor.io. You can find it on the exact same page to get some premium one-on-one help to make sure that your setup is rock solid. With that, I'm out. Keep stacking sats, but also keep stacking those skills. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This was your daily session.